So, Mr. Needlemouse. He's had quite a few adventures, saved the world a couple times, got a bad party game or two, participated in the Olympics. I think it's okay to say this guy's been around the block his fair share. But has he ever done his summer reading? The Sonic Storybook series, more like a duology I suppose, that consists of Sonic and the Secret Rings and Sonic and the Black Knight. One of these games is out of the running for things to talk about today due to the overabundance of the words Secret and Rings in its title, leaving us with the second game in the series, Sonic and the Black Knight. Released on March 12th, 2009 in Japan and Australia, March 13th, 2009 in Europe, and March 3rd, 2009 in North America. That's right, I got early access. This game released to mixed reception, probably due to the controls, you know the deal with Wii games, lots of inaccuracies, non-responsiveness, even apparently a slight delay, although I've personally never really experienced a delay beyond the already existing Wiimote delay. Also, I hadn't heard about this until researching for this video, but apparently this game, along with every other Sonic game with bad Metacritic scores at the time, were delisted from all retailers by Sega, presumably to help the Hedgehog's brand. Just thought that was interesting, considering the ancient evil that erupted about a year and a half later. But we're not here to talk about the Antichrist, we're here to talk about a funny blue porcupine with a talking sword. We open with this wizard lady, Merlina, running from this evil-looking night fella in the third most beautiful CGI cutscene you've ever seen. It's not looking good for Merlina over here, until she pulls a 5-star Sonic the Hedgehog, who instantly understands the situation, proceeds to down a whole chili dog, run literal circles around the bad guys, catches other chili dog in the way back round, and immediately try to finish off the big bad guy, before being stopped by Merlina so he doesn't get too cool in the first 3 minutes. Seriously, Sonic's cool factor has turned up to 11 in this game, especially in this intro. I love how he spins his chili dog around so cockily right in front of the main villain he's known existed for like 30 seconds. Anywho, Shadow Knuckles Blazer Knights of the Round Table. I will elaborate later. Now I move on to Merlina and Sonic, walking and talking. They introduce themselves to each other. Merlina tells Sonic about how that big bad night guy was in fact King Arthur, and Sonic is indeed in the land of King Arthur. King Arthur holds the Scabbard of Excalibur, given to him by Ninu, the Lady of the Lake. The scabbard bestows immortality upon him, so Sonic could not have harmed King Arthur no matter how cool he was, sadly. As an aside, the visuals in these cutscenes are just amazing. I love how the shadows and the lines are kind of squiggly. It makes it look like a real storybook. Merlina tells of a sacred sword just over yonder, and is presumably about to describe what the sword can do, but Sonic's got time to run, so he obviously does. Yet not before Merlina bestows upon him a pretty sick gauntlet. I had a Sonic action figure with that gauntlet. Don't mind the missing hand, I tried to put the gauntlet back on him, but I just ended up tearing off his wrist along with his glove. Anyway, back then I decided to replace that gauntlet with a hand from my Super Sonic action figure because I didn't want this stupid gauntlet. Now that I think about it, I can't find that Super Sonic figure anymore. I found his other hand, and that gauntlet, but no Super Sonic, so I guess there's a handless Super Sonic somewhere loose in my house. Hey, eye for an eye now, I guess. Now we're at the Sacred Sword, and there's a really neat line from Sonic here that's always kind of stuck with me.
If you remove that sword and defeat King Arthur with it, you shall forever be the worst of knights, slayer of kings.
Guess I can't be the hero every time.
This is kind of a perfect representation of Sonic in just 8 words, especially in this game. It doesn't matter who is wrong or who is right. He just wants to do good and help those in need. But who cares about that? We're about to meet the best character in the game! Calibur's sass is unmatched, man. He literally calls Sonic Knave for most of the game and never fails to have a witty comeback. Sonic and Calibur have such an interesting dynamic throughout the whole game. I love seeing them argue and become great partners over the course of the game, along with seeing Sonic come into his own as a knight thanks to Calibur's teaching, and seeing Calibur proud of how far Sonic has come is just so satisfying. Shortly after, we get a great scene with no foreshadowing at all, where Merlina examines a flower and wonders why they even bloom if they're destined to die someday. No foreshadowing or symbolism here whatsoever. Let's head to the blacksmith. Alright, Tails. I should elaborate on the other Sonic characters being here now, huh? So this is a constant between both storybook games, where the characters within take on the appearance of Sonic's friends. Tails here is the smithy, Knuckles is Sir Gawain, Shadow Sir Lancelot, Blaze Sir Percival, and Amy is the Lady of the Lake. I really love this idea, and the designs are all so lovely. I especially love Tails' smithy design and his nerdy little goggles. Also, the nice little cover of Believe in Myself from Sonic Adventure that plays here is wonderful. I'm gonna skip ahead a lot to talk about some more things I like further ahead in the story, and that isn't to say that the things in between here and there aren't important, but I just want to go over certain things I really like in this video. I'd love to talk more about the whole game in the future, though. So, after defeating the 3 Knights of the Round Table, Sonic and Calibur now have their sacred swords and will be able to defeat King Arthur with them. Merlina returns after the Percival fight and thanks our heroes for making this much progress. She points the boys towards the island of Avalon, where King Arthur resides, so they may finally end this. Merlina tells them to meet with her at Camelot Castle afterward, and they proceed to go on their way.
I'm Sonic the Hedgehog, Knight of the Wind. Let's settle this once and for all, King Arthur.
It seems your impersonation of a knight has improved somewhat.
I have you to thank for that.
Then let us have another look at that unsightly swordsmanship.
You're gonna be sorry you asked. This is it, old pal.
Indeed. Give it everything you have. Only then will you prevail.
Then bring it on, King Arthur!
After an intense fight, King Arthur is brought to his knees, yet the scabbard still makes him immortal. Thankfully, Sonic's got the speed to make it happen, and he surrounds Arthur with 3 sacred swords, nullifying the immortality and finally finishing off the evil King Arthur. Obviously, this game isn't quite over yet. The Knights of the Round Table seem to have caught on to Merlina scheming something, as Sonic joins the scene and is understandably confused as to why Arthur dissipated into a puff of smoke just like the underworld minions he summoned, leaving behind only the scabbard. Merlina reveals there was never any King Arthur. He was just a conjuration of her grandfather's making. She thanks Sonic, takes the scabbard, and she's going to erase her grandfather's greatest mistake? She wants to make the kingdom last forever! Oh man, was there foreshadowing and symbolism in that cutscene after all? And the song that plays in that scene has the final boss theme for a leitmotif? Merlina speaks of how the kingdom will fall eventually. Gawain and Lancelot's rift will doom the Round Table. Arthur will be struck down by his son Mordred and will depart for Avalon. Therefore, since it is doomed to end in ruin, she wishes to create a kingdom that never ends.
What good is a world that goes on forever?
Sonic tries to stop her, but is repelled back, told his efforts are futile, brought to his knees. And right before he's attacked again, Caliburn protects him, reminding him that a knight must always be on his guard. Yet Caliburn is not strong enough to fully repel the attack, and is broken in half, seemingly unable to respond anymore. Sonic, enraged, tries to avenge his friend to no avail. He's beaten to a pulp, told by the knights that he's done enough. There's no point to keep fighting, he's a fool for still trying. But he keeps going, stating the words of an old friend.
A knight never flees his foe, right?
Sonic's just gotta do what he's gotta do, and what he's gotta do is the right thing. The long-lost light of the sacred sword begins glowing as the knights grant Sonic their sword's power in order to keep fighting, proceeding to cause this cutscene that just goes so hard for no reason. After the second sickest boss fight in the series, we get to see a very heartfelt speech from Sonic to Merlina about how, even though everything must end at some point, we have to live life in the time we have.
Merlina, every world has its end. I know that's kind of sad, but that's why we gotta live life to the fullest in the time we have. At least, that's what I figure.
And hey, remember how that evil King Arthur wasn't even real? Remember how Caliburn is the sacred sword who decides who is worthy of the crown? Yeah, Sonic is the real King Arthur, by the way.
Huh? Hey, cut that out!
Not crying, you're crying. This game's message left a big impact on me when I was younger, and it's stayed with me to this day. I had a horrible fear of death as a kid, and while it hasn't necessarily left, the advice this game left me with, to simply live life as much as possible before your time is up, has helped me cope more than you can imagine. So much about this game I love. Sonic and Caliburn's dynamic, the way Sonic is written in this game is still my favorite in the series. The wonderful music, the awesome designs, and of course, the message to just live life. Maybe it doesn't play the best. Maybe it's not the most highly regarded in the franchise. But Sonic and the Black Knight is still incredibly inspiring to me. However, Sonic never turned in his summer reading book report, so I'm gonna have to dock points for that blunder.